So, Hyundai just unveiled the i20 N line, and before it's launched, we were all treating it to be the prodigal son of hot hatches for India. Even though Tata had already launched the JTB twins back in 2018, the trend couldn't pick up, mostly because of Tata's deal that didn't stay that long with JTP or JM Tata Performance, and no other new models were launched. Moreover, the JTP twins lacked features, and that just isn't gonna cut it in India. Even if it is the safest of cars out there, even if it is the sportiest, hottest hatch that you have. That is India's car market for now. Features are all the rage. It is sort of like a drug which was given to Indians by Hyundai and Kia, and I'm not blaming them, it's nice. Features of cars much above their classes at the low price of 15 to 16 lakhs and questionable build quality. Anyway, that is a discussion for some other day. Today, we have to talk about the i20 N line and should you buy it? Even though Hyundai was clear that the N line and not the i20N was coming to India, journalists and enthusiasts together were somehow convinced of seeing a power upgrade. The 200 PS power engine. Well, I wasn't. I knew the tuning would change and that the exhaust would be new thanks to Hyundai's teasers, but that's it. I knew it would lie somewhere in between the delicate tuning of the Polo GT and the overdone body kits of the Baleno RS, but Hyundai surprised me by doing both of them pretty good. Of course, it still isn't as good to drive as the Polo GT, but wait, it has awesome looks, it is feature loaded, has some delicate tuning, and boy, that exhaust sound is above its pay grade. Seriously. The suspension could have been better along with the steering response, considering it is supposed to be a sportier variant, but who cares when it packs all the features and isn't much expensive than the regular i20 Asta. Anyway, for more first drive impressions, do check out the article on my website, link in the description below, and for more automotive related news, do check out CarThrust.com. So anyway, as I was saying, it isn't much more expensive than the regular i20. In fact, the N6 iMT i20 N line, which is the base variant of the N line, is just 7,000 rupees cheaper than the i20 Asta with the same 1-litre turbo GDI engine. And in my opinion, if you're fine with the looks of the regular i20, you're fine with that steering that it has, you're fine with the features, well, it has a lot more features than the N6 N-line variant. If you're fine, well, then you should go for it, because as I said, the suspension setup is different, but it's not that good and it's not great for city. And the steering response hasn't really changed much because it's still a very light steering wheel. I haven't driven it on highways, but stay tuned for more on that. And I didn't feel the confidence with that steering, considering it's the N-line sportier variant. So, I don't know. Why not go for the Asta? If you're thinking it'll be some just useless features missed and you should go for the N-line, well, wait. You're wrong. You have to know the kind of features that the N-line N6 variant is missing out on. Check these out. Alright, so the way we're going to do this is I'm going to list a bunch of features and you, as the audience, are going to guess which of these features will be available in the Asta variant of the regular i20 or the N6 variant of the N-line i20, or maybe both. Got it? Alright, so here's a list of the features. And now you can pause the video and take your guess while I continue with it. Anyway, so yes, the N6 N-line variant, which is almost 11.2 lakhs on the road, which is not available at many dealerships, only platinum dealerships of Hyundai, does not have keyless entry. It's got a foldable key, although there is auto-fold function in the ORVM, so I don't know what Hyundai was thinking. Anyway, it doesn't even have LED headlamps with DRLs, which the Asta variant again has. The Asta has cornering lamps, the N6 doesn't. The N6, this is a big joke, doesn't even have automatic climate control. No, it's got manual aircon control. Ugh. It doesn't have electrochromatic IRVMs, and of course, it does not come with BlueLink connected features. So right now itself, I'm thinking that it's much worth to spend the 7,000 rupees extra room price on the Asta than the N6 variant of the i20 N line, because, well, Hyundai is making a ton of money on the N6 variant because they're just missing out on features by giving you something that is not that expensive or not that much value. The N8 variant, which is of the manual, is just about 90,000 or 85,000 rupees more expensive than the N6 on the road. So I would suggest you go for that if you're hellbent on getting the i20 N line. Anyway, let's continue because there's a lot more to the story. Oh boy, there is. There's no rear seat adjustment in the N6 variant, while the Asta gets two-way manual adjustment. There's no one touch-up driver side. There's no rear wiper in the N6. And the N6 doesn't have an auxiliary compatible stereo. Take that in. Also, it doesn't have Bose 7-speaker premium sound system because it doesn't have a subwoofer. It doesn't have burglar alarm. It doesn't have a sliding front armrest. Oh my god, the infotainment screen size is 8 inches rather than the 10.25 inches, which is kind of the reason why people buy the higher variants, the bigger tablet screen size. There's no wireless charger with cooling pad as well. And while some of these features we can ignore, like the wireless charger or maybe even the sliding front armrest, but I don't understand how I can miss the rest of them, because that's the point of this video. I made the list of features that are very significant that are missing from the N6. There's no luggage lamp in the N6, which is a big deal. Sorry about that. There is no front USB charger in the N6 variant. But anyway, what's different is that it's got some features to cover up the mess, which the Asta does not have. So if these matter to you more than the rest of the features that I just named, well, then the N6 is for you. The N6 gets cruise control, which the Asta doesn't. There's an electric sunroof in the N6, which the Asta doesn't. Emergency brake lights, okay. It's got child seat anchors or ISOFIX, and it's got ESP and hill hold control. Moreover, the gear shift indicators on the Asta are just shift indicators, while the N6 gets dynamic shift indicators with gear indicators. Of course it does, because it's a sports variant. So now you have the full view. And I'm saying it's not painting a very good picture for the N6, because as I've said, I drove it, and while driving it, I didn't feel that much of a difference. I felt the difference in tuning, of course. I felt the difference in suspension, but the suspension was hard, and it's not very comfortable in city driving conditions, of course. It's meant for the track, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see that when we go to a track with it, or the highways. The steering response is still very, very light because it's an electric power steering, and you don't feel the connection with the road. That is a problem with regular Hyundais. And while it's a great, great boon for the city, it's a big, big minus point for the tracks or even the highways, because you're just not confident enough. And you sit very low in the car, so you know you have to feel the connection with the road. Anyway, that was the video, and that's the comparison between the Asta and the N6 variant. And I would suggest, again, as I've said in the video before, if you don't care about the looks of the older one, I personally like the N line much, much more than the regular i20. I just don't like the design and the looks of the regular i20, but that's my personal opinion. So if you're okay with the older one and you're okay with the steering response, then you should definitely go for the Asta with the 1-liter turbo engine, because the suspension is softer on that one. And yeah, the steering is not that good looking. I don't like that Audi-esque, the poor man's Audi vibe, but you can live with it. And if you don't mind the absence of an electric sunroof and cruise control, then yeah, which I wouldn't mind, because I've never used cruise control in any of my cars, to be honest. I've never been able to drive on a highway in India where I can properly use cruise control for maybe more than 4 minutes. So that's about that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was an informative video, and let me know in the comments below what more you want to know about this car. I will definitely be uploading a full drive review of the i20 N line, along with a very special electric vehicle that was recently revealed. So stay tuned for that. This is Prakhar signing out.